Roasted green teas have become quite popular in Japan. These teas are made by taking green tea leaves and roasting them over a high heat. During this process, the leaves change from green to brown, and the flavor begins to take on warmer notes of coffee, caramel, and chocolate. To learn more about these teas, let's take a short trip over to Takachiho, a small town in Japan's Miyazaki prefecture. Here in the mountains of Takachiho, Mr. Isen is hard at work crafting beautiful roasted teas to share with people all around the world. Mr. Isen lives on the small farm with his family in their 200-year-old house. Right next to their house, he turns tea leaves into incredible Hojicha tea. He also makes Kamairicha, a partially roasted tea in between Hojicha and Sencha. To find out how much work goes into making these impressive teas, let's take a quick tour of his factory.
Hello everybody, we are here at the Isen Kamairicha production. So what we will do now is just walk you through the whole production. So follow me. When the leaves arrive, they are put first through the containers there, which you can see there, over there, and then they just put up here over this part in the machine here on the right, and then coming slowly but surely into the oven, falling down here, and then coming in this part here where actually the oven is heated up to 350 degrees Celsius, and you got a tube inside where the leaf, they're just turned with this tube, and the matcha really gets to 350 degrees up. Then in a second step they get through this tube to the upper part. The upper part here is then again 200 degrees hot, and they have kind of a second slight roasting of the leaves, always turned, still containing a lot of moisture, but getting really here slightly roasted in this part, and then coming into the next steps. The next steps, they are mainly made through turning of the leaves, different kinds of turning. Once it's rolling, once is this brush turning as well, and with each step the moisture gets more and more out of the leaves, and with each step the leaves get drier and drier. So here we are maybe around 20% of moisture still in the leaves. So let me just show you how it looks inside. So here really the leaves are pushed against the wood, so they lose with each turn more and more of its moisture. And finally we have these two machines doing very similar. So here we have a brush inside. Maybe I can show you this too. Voila. And you got there two brushes, and really pushing out again with air. So air is coming in here, air around 35 degrees, so a little bit above room temperatures, and bringing out just the moisture more and more until we come in a second part of heating. Here the oven is only around 150 degrees hot, and again you can see there are stones with a flame, so these are small ovens, giving again this slightly roasted flavor of the Kamairicha. And then in the final production step it gets here, in this one here, that's the last oven, and then finally the racha is done, so the brewed tea, which is then brought into the last step of the whole production. And this is really the last part where you also have the separation of Hojicha. So Hojicha is really roasted tea, or the Kamairicha, which is slightly roasted tea. So when I just open this here up, so this is actually a pan which is heated up to around 100 degrees when it is open, 112 degrees when it is closed, And here the leaves staying just for 1 hour, and this gives it the final touch of this slightly roasted taste. And when you want to do hojicha, you just go up to 140 degrees, and then you're gonna get this dark roasted and nearly chocolatey flavor then out of the hojicha, and these then give the two different teas.
After seeing how the tea is made, it's time to learn about how it tastes. On one of our business trips to Shizuoka, Japan's largest tea growing region, we met the owners of Marufuku to taste a few of their teas. They source their tea from all over Japan and then process it in this facility here. After a careful roasting process, they produce this incredibly fine hojicha. For our visit of the facility, they decided to cold brew some of this tea for us to try. Cold brewing extracts more of the sweet components from the leaves and less of the bitterness. This works great for hojicha, particularly when it gets a bit warmer out.
That's a very, very, very good hojicha. It's very, very creamy and caramel, so it's sugary. Incredible. And there's no bitterness. What's the cultivar of this one? Is it a blend?
Blendo? It's a blend. It's a blend. Ah, it's from Kagoshima.
This is excellent. This is really good.
Great.
Yeah, it's an excellent hojicha.
After learning about all the work that goes into making the perfect cup of hojicha, we gained a new level of appreciation for this magnificent roasted green tea. If you are interested in trying some of these roasted green teas for yourself, we would really appreciate it if you headed to neoteas.com and checked out some of our roasted teas. If you're looking for a nice sweet hojicha with more chocolate and caramel notes, we recommend the Noike Hojicha. For a slightly darker roasted tea with notes of black coffee, we recommend the Kuki Hojicha, a roasted stem tea from Mr. Isen. This tea is also made from the stems of the tea plant, so it's lower in caffeine. We also of course have the famous pan-roasted Kame Iricha from Mr. Isen, with notes of hazelnut and sweet cashew. No matter what tea you try, it will help support our mission of bringing high-quality, sustainable green tea to the world. It also helps us support talented farmers like Mr. Isen as they continue to improve the way Japanese green tea is produced. Thank you all so much for watching. We'll see you next time.